Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live stream. We knew it was going to happen, didn't we, from last night? Oh, gosh. F's in chat, boys and girls. F's in chat. So sad. Obviously, I'm gutted. But, like I've said many a time before, Winchy, thanks for the £2. I don't know what I can get for £2 that's going to help this feeling, to be honest, mate. Thank you, Emils, for the euro. I'm disappointed, obviously. I'm gutted. But I'm not surprised. And to be honest, I don't blame Red Bull for making the decision they've done. If anything, from their point of view, I understand why it's happened. I get it. It makes sense. Pain in chat. 1,500 people just watching me be sad. What amazing content. Perez deserved the seat, but as an Albon fan, I'm sad. Johan, I couldn't agree more. Folher, thank you for the 229. As always, my friend, you're far too kind. Get some Freddos, mate. Freddos, Tom. You really think Freddos are going to fix this? Freddos, bruv. Come on. To be fair, I haven't, not a single calorie. It's gone 3:30 and not a single calorie has passed my lips today. I haven't eaten anything yet. So I do need to eat. Alexei for the fight. Just all of the pity donations. Well, look. What I will say is that Sergio Perez, as much as I'm absolutely gutted for Alex, obviously, Sergio Perez deserves a seat more than most in F1. So I'm very happy that he's got a seat for him. But obviously the overwhelming sense of pain. It's a conflicting. Like, I like to think all of my years as a West Ham fan, getting used to relegation, which essentially this is what is happening because Alex has been relegated to a reserve/test role at the team. Sergio's got a 1-year contract, so that's what I'm looking at it as, like West Ham down to the Championship for a season. Maybe we'll see what happens. They might get a shot back at the Premier League next year. But yeah. So I'm not like, this feeling isn't unusual to me, but it's never really manifested itself in Formula One before. Thank you, Philip, as well for the full. I don't know that. I don't know that symbol, but thank you. I appreciate that, and also thank you to Zach for becoming a friend of Tomo. Oh, and Benedict, your mate, with a 10.99 euros. Thank you. Do you think Alex will come back in 2022? Maybe if Perez doesn't, if Perez has the same issues that Alex and Pierre have had, then maybe. But I don't know. And thank you to JB for the 4.99. You like. Thank you. I appreciate it. It'll be interesting to see if Perez struggles. If anything, that would prove the team is too single driver focused to pick on the force again. We don't know. But thank you, JB, for the 4.99. We'll go for it. Obviously, I created these graphics last night because I've been spending the last kind of couple of hours working on the latest WTF1 video, which is all about Perez and Albon. and how Perez is. So it's like the ultimate pain for me. I was like, Matt messaged me like, right, we're doing we're doing Perez replacing Alex for a video. I was like, really? I've really got to do that now. Thanks, great, whoop-de-doo. But that's now out, so go give that some love after you've watched this or during or whatever. I created these last night, these graphics. So I suppose we should just go for it step by, because I knew if it happened, we'd have to somehow like break this live stream up so it's not just a blabberfest that the first 6 minutes and 20 seconds have been. Thank you, Mayra, for the sorry, Tomo, greetings from Mexico. Oh, the pain. I'm sure many of you getting some sick, twisted enjoyment out of this. I don't blame you. Oh dear. Anyway, and thank you, Keith, for the fiver as well. Oh, right, you lot are far too kind to me, especially in my time of need. Right, come on. Let's go through. Let's break it down. Was it the right choice? Alex Albon fanboy reacts to Alex losing his seat to Sergio Perez to being out of Formula One. Do I think it was the right choice? I've said this time and time again. To be honest, I was surprised that Hülkenberg wasn't being talked about more, because we know that he's got a good relationship with Max. He qualifies well. He's a quick racer. I do believe that Perez, out of the three drivers that are up, Perez, I believe, is currently the most talented for sure. He's on it right now. Like, he's at his peak, Sergio. He's at his peak. He's had his best season ever in Formula One. I thought Hülkenberg would have been considered more than Perez, because Hülkenberg's more likely to sit into a comfortable second seat. But honestly, like, out of them two, I'm glad that they picked Perez, because Perez, I think, deserves it more and is a more complete driver. But also, he'll push Max, and that's going to be like, I'm not going to lie, I'm gutted for Alex, but a Perez Verstappen pairing at Red Bull, that's going to be sick next year. That is going to be so good. That's going to be so good. Like, I'm confident that's going to be so good. Unless, of course, that Red Bull second seat is truly haunted, cursed, whatever you want to call it. Because, listen, we don't know. We still don't really know why things went so wrong for Pierre. Because Pierre's gone on to prove himself so much. And then it went wrong for Alex as well. We haven't really got a solid answer from Red Bull. Like, why is it? Is it the culture at the team? Is it the car itself? Is it... We don't know, and we'll never ultimately know. But obviously, there is no guarantee that Sergio will go there and slap. I'm confident he will. I've got more confidence in him than I have in pretty much any other driver going into that seat. But we do not know. We do not know. It's impossible to say. You've got to remember, like, Sergio's been at the same team for the last 7 years now, Force India. So he's been at a very stable team. He's been able to help develop that car in a position where he's clearly very comfortable in it. Is there any guarantee that he will perform any better than Alex and Pierre? There's no guarantee, because, of course, we don't know. We know that second car is a bit of a poison chalice. I hope it works out for him. I really do, because Sergio has deserved a top seat for a while now, I think. At least in a more competitive team than he's been in recently. Thank you, Murray White, for the £2. Has to sack Mazepin mid-season, or Albon to Haas? I mean, if Haas aren't going to sack Mazepin now, I don't see why they'd do mid-season, to be honest. But whatever. Yeah, so we'll see. There's no guarantee of anything in this sport. I hope it works out for Perez, but also fair play to Red Bull, going for it and being like, okay, because look, when a driver like of Sergio's pedigree and ability is available, I can't blame them for going for him, because that doesn't happen all the time. But also they're putting themselves on the line here, because if Perez does struggle, because that's a very real possibility. If Perez struggles as much as Pierre has done relative to Verstappen, Red Bull, they've already got a lot to answer for, if you ask me, but that's going to be signed, sealed, delivered. There's a problem at that team. It's not to do with the driver's ability, because you've had one driver who's we all thought was terrible, to be fair, at that team, and then left, and all of a sudden, oh wait, no, he's not terrible, he's great, in Pierre Gasly. The same kind of things had to Alex, but Alex isn't going to get the opportunity to rebound, which is, I think, a real shame for him, because Gasly got the opportunity to go back to AlphaTauri and then prove himself again. Alex isn't going to get that opportunity. And obviously that's just circumstance. It's tough luck, ultimately. I'm not going to say it's unfair, because these things happen. Like, Perez was available. If Perez wasn't available, I think they would have stuck with Albon. But he was available. And that all started from Ricciardo leaving Renault. That chain of events started from Daniel Ricciardo leaving. That's a mad. Oh, thank you, Adrian, as well, for joining Friends of Tomo. Appreciate that. And thank you, Stanley, for the $5. Hi, Tomo. I love the content. My hot take is that Verstappen will make Checo look mediocre, like he has the past two teammates and Ricciardo at the end. It's very, very... It could happen, Stanley. You're not wrong, mate. It could happen. We don't know. We do not know. As much as Perez has done everything, like, he's got to be comfortably top 3 drivers of the year this year. We don't know. But anyway, do I think it was the right choice? It pains me to say, but I do. And again, it's I've got to put my fandom to one side for this, because obviously I'm investing in Alex because he's my favourite. And again, same way I'm investing in West Ham, not because they're the best team in the world, because they mean something to me. Same thing for Alex. I support him, and I will always support him. But do I think it's the right choice? Objectively, yeah, I think I do. I do. So will Sergio succeed? Again, I've already kind of talked about this. Will Sergio succeed? I think... Will Sergio succeed? Do I actually think... Again, what's success? Because will he do better than Pierre and Alex did in that seat? I believe so. Will he be in amongst it? If I had to bet between, so imagine you draw there's a graph. So at one end you've got performing on par with Alex and Pierre, which okay results generally. I still think Alex had higher highs than Pierre, but he also had lower lows. Like in 2019, Alex had a much better season in the Red Bull than Pierre did in the Red Bull in 2019. But then Alex's lows were much lower than Pierre's lows. But then he had podiums and could have won, arguably, at least one race. One race he could have won. But anyway, you've got that there, and then you've got Max Verstappen here. If I had to say now, I'd probably put Sergio like here. So still close, because I still think there's no smoke without fire, and I still think there's inherent issues there. But obviously, Sergio's got a lot more experience than both Pierre and Alex had when they were at Red Bull. That's sad to talk about in the past tense already. A lot more experience. We know Sergio's a don when it comes to managing tyres, and like, for sure, I'm not even trying to say for a second that I think like Perez is definitely the better driver of those three, for sure. But I still think there's a lot to suggest that team is very, very built around Max and focused on Max, and Max gets the car that he wants and they develop the car in that direction. And will that suit? Because we don't know. The thing is, we don't know if Sergio has the adaptability. Vettel doesn't have the adaptability. Sorry, but that has been found out this year in that Ferrari. In a car that he's happy in, he's one of the best to ever do it, Vettel. But when he's in a car that isn't happy in, he struggles to adapt. And we don't know if Sergio can adapt as much as, yes, he's great tyre management, all that. There's a difference between that and adapting to a complete... Because jump from him going from that racing point, which is essentially a Mercedes, stable, planted car to go to a Red Bull, which is a skittish, you know, bit of a wild one in comparison. Like, I think that's objectively true. Will he adapt? I think he's got a better chance than most, but again, there's no guarantee. So 3,500 people watching me struggle. Great. And then what next for Alex? Well, again, we know he's got a reserve role. There's talk of saying, they want to help towards 2022. I don't know what Red Bull's plan is, because the thing is, another thing that there's the whole engine issue, isn't there? So it looks like they want to take on the Honda IP for the engine. That is looking increasingly likely to happen, as far as I've seen. And so, to be fair, another ball in Sergio's court is that, yes, Red Bull aren't reliant on the money, but you could say that about Mercedes, for example. But the more that they can make the Red Bull team independent, like financially independent, and not relying on the big Red Bull parent brand to give them money, the better, right? And if they're taking on this big engine project and Sergio's coming in, bringing 40 million in sponsors, I don't know. I believe it's about 40 million. I'm not sure exactly. That is going to help a lot in terms of putting that money into that. So again, that's another pro, because not only is Sergio one of the best drivers, one of the most informed drivers in F1 right now. You have to say he's top 3, I think, informed drivers right now. But he brings a lot of money. He's got all of the talent plus the positives that come with essentially what is a paid driver, because he's got his Telmex, Telcel, Claro, all that coming over. So again, another reason why I think it makes sense to Red Bull, because again, they don't need the money, but if they can go to Dietrich Mateschitz and say, don't worry, you don't need to stick your finger in your pocket. Finger in your pocket? Hand in your pocket. Weird way of putting it. And we'll just, get Sergio in. Great driver. Experienced. Probably going to do a better job than the 2 younger drivers before. And he's going to help pay for the engine project. Again, you can't, as much as I'm gutted, it makes sense. And if I was not an Alex fan and I was in Red Bull's shoes, I would have 100% gone for Sergio. And they did. But big risk, but potentially big reward, because of course, if the thing is, we know that Max this year should have beaten Valtteri in the drivers' standings. He got some bad luck. And if he'd have had a teammate that would have been able to back him up more, then Max would have even more comfortably beaten Valtteri, if you ask me, even though he didn't, because he got unlucky and all the DNFs and that. But again, Red Bull could go through the constructors and be like, okay, Lewis is just going to check out and win. It's fine. Let's just focus on not killing Valtteri. I was going to say killing Valtteri. Just focus on getting Valtteri every race, right? Slap him up and then get 2-3 every race. And then the points, constructors, that could be a thing. But yeah, if you want to let out a scream, it's okay. I don't want to. I'm just sad. I'm very sad. 4K viewers as well. Jesus, everyone! Thank you very much for coming. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Tom F1 YouTube channel if you haven't already. Thank you, Meta V2, for the $5. Considering Albon is development driver, I think he will be back in 2022. But it does depend. The thing is, if Perez has a really good season, why would they drop Perez? True. If Perez doesn't have a particularly strong season, then they'll probably go with Alex, because again, Alex has got another year in the sim, in the team, probably going to be more comfortable going into 2022 if Sergio doesn't have a good year. But if Sergio does have a bad year, why would they drop him? Because then you've got Sergio Perez and Max Verstappen, 2 quality drivers in your seats. Yeah. Mad. It's a madness. But anyway, I think that's it. I think we're done, really. There's not really much more to say, is there, on this issue? You know what? Part of me as well. Part of me is just glad that this story is over. because it and a half dragged on. It and a half. Oh my god, it's dragged on so much. And part of me as well was just like, again, I always use the metaphor of West Ham, but it's like sometimes I'd rather see us like. You'd rather see your team get relegated and then actually perform well and win and do bits than just holding on and struggling through a season in the Premier League. And it's kind of similar. I know it's different, but similar vibes in this one. I'm just glad. I hope Alex can rebound, because it must have been, I can't even imagine the mental pressure that Alex has been under this year, because I mean, I've felt it as a fan, let alone him actually going through it as the individual. But yeah, I think, well, next year it's going to be, look, listen, to all of you know, I love a bit of Yuki Tsunoda. Tsunoda's my boy. Absolute G. And he's getting in the AlphaTauri seat next year. And then, of course, my other two favourite drivers in Lando and Ricciardo are together at McLaren. So I'm very much going to be behind McLaren boys next year and Yuki Tsunoda. But I think Yuki will be my number one, because I love Yuki, man. I love Yuki. But anyway, thank you, Procrastination Centre, for the fiver as well. The old RPs used to be based off the high rake Red Bull design. They did. That's actually a good point. Procrastination Centre, you make a very good point. But then, you're right, they did used to be based off the high rake. When was that, though? And how did Sergio perform in those years? I'm not sure. I can't remember, to be honest, off the top of my head. But anyway, right. That is definitely done. I believe I've responded to all the super chats. But if I haven't, then I do apologise. I'll try my best. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Yeah, is what it is. Subscribe if you haven't already. New video probably coming out Monday. And then podcast later in next week as well. Just add that at the end. But thank you all. Thank you all for suffering along with me. We knew it was coming, but there we go. Alex loses his seat to Sergio Perez. Pain. There's a good pain meme on Twitter, actually, that someone created that I shared this link with. So yeah, feel free to save that and use it every other time that I experience pain, because I do quite a lot. So yeah, I'm done, everyone. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Take what am I saying? Goodbye. I'm just off. My head's in it. I need to eat. I haven't eaten all day. It's 4:00 in the evening. Bye, everyone. Merry Christmas.